Good Sunday morning, Jacksonville. It's the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Mitchell Yass. I'm Matt Hayes. He's Dr. Yass. He's going to give you the tools to live a pain-free life. There are 3 ways to get involved today. Call us and talk to Dr. Yass at 904-641-1010. Text your questions for Dr. Yass to the text line brought to you by our good friends at Lifetime Enclosures at 904-641-1010. Or you can watch us on the live stream on the 1010XL YouTube channel. Okay. In the last 2 months, we've taken you through the Yass Method to eliminate pain in your back, neck, hips, shoulders, knees, and feet. We've talked about the Yass Method eliminating sciatica and migraines. We've talked about the value of the Yass Method compared to all that money you're spending for physical therapy and PRP shots and most of all, surgery. But this is different. This is the most important show of all. So important, in fact, that we're not going to have a weekly testimonial. And instead, we'll open up the phone lines to take your calls at 904-641-1010. Today's show is all about the psychology of pain. How pain can take over and run and eventually ruin your life. How pain forces you to think differently, act differently, and live differently, all to your detriment. How pain forces you to accept life as it is, not how it should be. If you walk out into your garage and you see those golf clubs just sitting there unused because of your pain, this is your show. If you can't get out on your boat or can't stand on the water's edge of the beach and fish like you once did, this is your show. If you can't get out of bed without your back shooting in pain, this is your show. If you can't kneel at church or walk your dog like you once could or bend down and pick up your kids and grandkids, this is your show. If you're holed up in the closet, the darkest room of your home, because the migraine pain is so debilitating, this is your show. 150 million Americans and 1 billion people in the world are estimated to be suffering from chronic pain. It's a staggering, sobering reality, and it doesn't have to happen. Dr. Yass, welcome into today's very important show on the psychology of pain.
Thanks, Matt, and happy Sunday morning to you and everybody listening or watching on the YouTube stream. I have been doing what I've been doing for over 30 years. I have treated thousands of people, and I want to get into a little bit about my history so you could understand how my background is kind of different from any other practitioner in the extent that I have been drawn into the understanding of what pain is. Not just the physical pain, but how it affects people. So I think that people have to understand that once you start with pain, you're going to be addressing the pain and doing what you can, and maybe it impedes you. But as it gets farther and farther and longer, your psychology about your pain changes, and you begin to make lifestyle changes that are now the focal point of how you're living your life. It's no longer the pain. The pain is actually now secondary. It's impeding you from experiencing the pain, which becomes your primary concern. And this is where the psychology changes and the emotional connection to the pain develops. So we're going to get into all of this, but I just wanted people to have a little bit of background to understand where I came from and how this all developed. So 1993, I'll make this kind of fast. 1993, I graduated physical therapy school. At that time, I had recognized that the use of the MRI in diagnosing the cause of pain was baseless, and that, in fact, a better mechanism for identifying the cause of pain was the use of interpreting the body's presentation of symptoms. Symptoms are coming from the tissue in distress. Interpreting the symptoms allowed me to understand what tissue that was. I found in 98% of cases, the cause of pain was muscular. And that allowed me to begin to create my method.
Mitchell, real quick, say that one more time, 98%.
I have found over 30 years that in more than 98% of cases, the cause of pain is muscular, even when structural abnormalities are identified on MRI or X-ray. So by 1997, I opened my facility, my first place. And almost instantly, because of this awareness that I had this unique diagnostic capacity, people start coming, and they come in droves. And basically what's happening is they've done all the other stuff, the physical therapy, the chiropractor, the orthopedics, the neurologists, and they're all, in many cases, or a substantial amount, are being told they need surgeries. And they hear about this guy who seems to have the ability, through interpreting their body, to determine whether that surgery is valid or not. And the great news is, in 98% of cases, it's not. It's muscular. I give them some exercise, and they're out of pain. So things really explode right from the beginning. Everything truly changes in 2008. 2008, I write my first book. I am told that I should get some local media to create awareness of this thing that I'm doing. So I go on a local Cablevision channel, and I do 3 half-hour interviews, May 31st, 2008, May 30th, 2009, March 13th, 2010. That is a 1.5-year period of where these interviews are shown sporadically on weekends. Over that period of time, I get roughly 25,000 calls to my office. 25,000 calls, people demanding that they get an evaluation from me. Now, this is in New York on Long Island, which is the southern portion of New York. I have people calling me from Albany, from the highest points in New York, from New Jersey, from Connecticut. People came from Texas. A couple of people came from out of the country because of this. So this massive demand started to bring a unique patient.
Right. I think what you're trying to explain here is there are people everywhere in dire straits, mentally and physically, because of pain. That's why someone's coming from Texas to see you. That's why someone's coming from Canada to see you.
Well, the fear of surgery at that time, it was still fairly new. So the fear of surgery, and at that time already there were the beginnings of the indication that they were failing were coming out. Right. So people were very scared.
Right.
And what this ended up bringing was a unique type of patient for me, and maybe for many people, and it was the suicidal patient. The person who had been dealing with this so long and had tried everything possible, they had isolated themselves so much that they saw no alternative but to take their life because they could not live another day with pain. And for people who want to really hear one of these stories, you can go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Mitchell Yass, and just search Kathy Sweeney. She'll tell you exactly where she was in her life. And because of having to deal with this, I succumbed to the entire thing. I became a part of their pain. I would go home panic-stricken after evaluating that person and saying to myself, I got to get an answer. And I basically would sit in front of a wall and stare for hours at a time trying to come up with that solution for that person. And fortunately, I was able to. But it got me to experience almost the same exact level of frustration, anger, anxiety, hopelessness that person. I began to understand that psychology. And because of that, I started to realize that I had to treat them beyond the actual physical pain, that we were going to have to address this sense of I can't move because if I move, I'm going to have pain. I hate being with people now because I can't stand hearing someone laugh when all I want to do is cry. I can't go to a dog park because I can't walk my dog. I can't see another person walk their dog. And so as you started to experience this, you started to realize that what had happened was they reached a sense of hopelessness to where they thought they were never going to resolve their pain anymore. And because of that, they gave up and they shut down and they created this lifestyle. And so that's what had to be addressed in the first session.
It was almost a lifestyle of acceptance. Like, you'll accept what is here instead of saying, no, it can be better. And I think that's kind of the key to everything, what pain will do to people. And I have firsthand knowledge of it. It's almost like, all right, I was at the point after a year of dealing with Achilles pain that I was just accepting that I'm going to have surgery, that I'm going to have to go under, which I've never been under in my life. I'm going to have to go under, and I'm going to have to put my life in someone else's hands. And I wasn't happy about it, but a week, 2 weeks before I met you, had resigned that I'm going to have to call somebody and I'm going to have surgery. And then I met you, and everything completely changed within a matter of one visit.
Let me give people an understanding. Matt does this show, XL Primetime, and he couldn't sit because if he sat long enough, that Achilles shortened, it would cause a reverse contraction, and it would cause him to be in pain to where he couldn't. So he had to change the way he did his own show. That's how bad things were. And so when we talk about lifestyle change, it changes every aspect of your life. I know we've talked about how his whole outlook, how he dealt with people changed once we were able to end the pain. And so we're going to continue this discussion, and we're going to go into the different aspects of how this goes on and how it affects you.
This is a very, very important show. If you want to get a really powerful testimony, if you haven't been listening all along, go on the 1010XL website, 1010XL.com, go on demand, and listen to the first show we ever did with Masiek from Montreal. Masiek had to sleep on a concrete floor for a year. He admitted to us that he thought about taking his own life because he could not eliminate his pain. And then he called Dr. Yass. And Dr. Yass eliminated his pain. Okay. We're going to come back. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with the psychology of pain and how pain runs and eventually ruins your life. Call us at 904-641-1010. It's the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Mitchell Yass on 1010XL.
Tim McGraw returns to Five Star Veterans Memorial Arena March 14th for a chance to win tickets. Text McGraw to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010.
If you're living with heart disease and surgery is necessary, a top-rated heart surgery program is available to you at Baptist Health. The team at Baptist has the highest rating for heart bypass surgery by the Society of Thoracic Surgeons, the gold standard for quality and safety ratings. Ask your doctor to learn more or visit baptistjacks.com/heart.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason Stanley Pools is a family tradition of fine swimming pools. It's locally owned and run by the Stanley family since 1988. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build and renovate our pool, and they do a fantastic job of maintaining it. I've recommended Stanley Pools for years for pool construction, repairs, maintenance, and renovation. Call Stanley Pools at 269-7277 today to transform your backyard. That's Stanley Pools, 269-7277.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Hey, Hicken here. I hope your summer's been as fun as mine. We had some great vacations, did some traveling. Must admit, though, I'm looking forward to everybody kind of getting back into order. My youngest going off to college. Everything got is settling down in the house. Man, the house is taking a beating, so the towel and grout, the carpets and rugs all need a good cleaning. Time to call Zero Res. Right now, Zero Res offering the hottest price of the year on towel and grout cleaning. Get your towel and grout cleaned and sealed 25% off. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward, Zero Res, spell it backward. Right way to clean.
Are you looking for increased privacy and protection for your family and pets? Look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Superior Fence and Rail is Jacksonville's top-rated fence company, delivering the highest quality fence products. They'll treat your property as if it's their own. So get off the fence and get your privacy back. Call Superior Fence and Rail today for your on-site estimates.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Get ready to swing into Flavortown at Fourscore Golf Tavern and tee off your taste buds on our brand new, mouth-watering menu items. Our talented mixologists have created an array of cocktails that will make you feel like you're celebrating a victory on the 18th green. So swing by Fourscore Golf Tavern today and take your taste buds on a golf-inspired culinary journey. We're located in the San Marcos Square. Visit our website at fourscoregolftavern.com for our full menu and special events. Oh, and don't forget to tag us with your favorite picks. Fourscore Golf Tavern.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I said yes to Yass, Dr. Mitchell Yass, and the Yass Method. Now, I know you've probably tried medications, treatments, injections, even surgery. Maybe the reason you're still in pain is because they're treating the wrong thing and not addressing the root causes. Well, I know from personal experience, this does happen. But I found the best-kept secret in pain elimination, Dr. Yass and the Yass Method. Call him today, 904-906-YASS, and say yes to Yass.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We're your local family jeweler for 46 years in Jacksonville with a huge selection of diamonds, gemstones, and pre-owned Rolex watches. And Monahan Jewelers is your store for expert jewelry repair turned around in 1 or 2 days. Most jewelry stores take 2 weeks or more, and many stores send your jewelry somewhere else for repair. At Monahan Jewelers, our jewelry repair is done in-house by expert craftsmen, and Monahans can turn around most repairs in a day or two. So bring your jewelry repair to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Denny Thompson here. Are you a home builder looking for a reliable low-voltage partner? Look no further than Tyson Sound and Security. They've been working hard with large and small builders for 15 years. Here's why they are the top choice. They will enhance your home buyer's home experience by offering custom home design appointments, and your budget stays intact while they deliver top-quality services. Builders, send your plans over today to bid. Tyson Sound and Security, security and home automation experts.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville.
Okay, we're back on the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Mitchell Yass. We're already having folks calling in asking for Dr. Yass's number, his office number, and how to get in touch with him. If you want to get in touch with Dr. Yass and set up an appointment, it's 904-906-YASS. That's 904-906-YASS. Or you can go online, livewithoutpains.com. That's plural, livewithoutpains.com. You can set up an appointment right there. The appointment can be in the office or it can be a Zoom session. Either one. And if you want to get involved today, call us at 904-641-1010 or the same number for the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. Doc, let's get into this deeper into this very important subject of the psychology of pain.
Sure. So what we want to do now is talk about how the mindset changes as you're going from acute pain to chronic pain. So acute pain is basically described as any pain that you have for a sustained period for 3 to 6 months. As you go beyond 3 to 6 months, it's now considered chronic. Now, for the average person, when they begin to get pain, there are 2 aspects of psychology which typically hold true. And that the first one is, which most people hope that is true, is that, it's just going to resolve on its own.
And before we go further, real quick, hope is not a plan.
Correct. Right. So that's the first thing. So they believe that this might just get better on its own, so they kind of leave it alone, but they continue on their life, and every now and then they get this pain, but they still continue on their life because they assume it's going to get better. Well, eventually that doesn't happen, and now they go on and they begin to seek care. But even in seeking care, there is a belief that there is a person out there, the appropriate practitioner, and they're going to resolve their pain. So it still hasn't begun to affect quality of life, to affect decision-making on what you're going to do. I get my pain. I somehow get around it. I modify what I do a little bit, but I still can do the things I do. I still can have the relationships I want. I can still do my job, my recreational activities, things of that nature. So at this point, there still hasn't been a change in the psyche. As we start moving to chronic pain, this is where the psyche begins to change. All of a sudden, the beginning thoughts that, oh, wait a second, this isn't going to resolve on its own, start to fester. And now you've gone to several medical practitioners, and they haven't been able to make it better, which that in itself begins to scare you because you just assumed it was going to be resolved by people, and you've now gone to 3 or 4 or 5 different types of people, and they haven't fixed it. So now you start to say to yourself, oh, my God, maybe I've got something that can't be fixed. And this is where the emotional connection to the pain begins.
That's a heavy, heavy statement. Maybe I have something that can't be fixed. And at that point, if you are months into this pain, you're now all in your head.
Right.
And if you're convincing yourself, maybe I have something that can't be fixed, you're going down a dark, dark road at that point.
Absolutely. So now all the negative emotions that are associated with the pain. And again, I want to make this very, very clear. It's not associated with the pain. It's associated with the idea that the pain will not be resolved. This is a very, very important thing to understand. It's not the pain that's eliciting. There's no connection between pain receptors in tissue and the emotional aspect of the brain. That's not what happens. It is the equivalent of, let's say I locked you in a room and I keep you there for a couple of hours and you don't think you're going to get out. You will begin to have the same firing in the emotional aspect of the brain as what pain does when you think the pain can't get resolved. So it's an emotional response to not being able to resolve the pain, not the pain itself. So now we move on, and now you're starting to feel anxious. Now you start getting into life, and now instead of having pain and experiencing it, now you're anticipating the pain. And even me and you had that experience when you were in the office a couple of times where you would say, oh, I had pain. And I said, what was the pain level? And it was like 2 or 3. And I said, I don't understand what happened there. It wasn't that 9 or 10. And it's like we started to realize you had gotten to the point of anticipating it was going to happen. So you had figured out what triggered it. So when you did that thing, you kind of experienced the pain without it really being that extreme pain because your brain had developed that understanding.
So after the first visit, it was a second visit, and I was doing the exercises. And again, these are simple weight training exercises that can be done with weights or bands. Simple exercises that anyone at any age level can do. So after I started doing this exercises the second time, and I woke up the next day, and I had pain, but it wasn't pain, it was soreness because I hadn't been doing those exercises. So any exercise you do that you haven't done in the past, you're going to get a little soreness. I immediately thought it was something with my Achilles. So I was like, I'm not coming in. Something's wrong. I'm feeling the pain. He's going, no. Doc's like, no, you have to come in. This is the whole point. You have pain from doing the exercises. It's not pain in your Achilles. So yes, I was completely in my head at that point that I didn't want this to get worse. And I thought, well, this is making it worse. And no, it's actually making it much, much better and eliminating it.
Right. So what's developing now is apprehension, fear, anxiety, and slowly creeping in is a bit of hopelessness. That's starting to develop. You start festering on the idea that I may never be able to have the life that I used to have. And so as this continues, this inability to resolve the pain, maybe you're trying more and more people, maybe you've gotten to the point of taking opioids, heroin, and it's not minimizing it, it's not taking away, it's not allowing you to live a life.
Wait, you're not saying people are taking heroin. What you're saying is
opioids are the
same
in fact
thing.
Synthetic heroin.
Let's make that very clear right now. Doc is not saying that you're out there taking heroin. What he's telling you is these pills that these doctors are giving you for your pain, they're opioids, which are
synthetic heroin.
Synthetic heroin.
And just to be clear about it, opioids as in opium. That's
right.
where it derives from.
Right.
So You've tried all this stuff, so now you're really getting deep into the emotional aspect. The pain is now beginning to take second to the apprehension of the pain going on, and this is where the lifestyle change starts to go. So maybe you kind of can't stand being in front of people that laugh, so you stop having social interactions. You're very agitated now because every little thing just reinforces the fact that you're not having the life. Remember, it's not about the pain anymore. It's that you're not having the life that you want. So your relationships with your family members and friends starts to take a hit. Maybe you can't stand being around them, and that might lead to isolation. You can't play golf. All those things you talked about. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit at home.
Yeah.
You're going to sit at home.
You can't go for a walk.
Right. And you're going to isolate. And this is the type of stuff that ends up happening. So it ends up that the dysfunction and the collapse of relationships begins to become the priority. Amazingly, it's not the pain itself, the experiencing of the pain.
Mitchell, I think you have to explain this here. The isolation is the danger. Because we as humans are meant to have connection. You cannot have isolation like that. This pain will drive you into isolation. Will drive you into sitting in your seat at your home for hours instead of going outside and walking your dog, or going outside and riding your bike, or going fishing. This is the problem. We're creating people now that are in isolation and that are doing more damage than the pain actually has.
And think about what that means. In isolation, you have more time to think about the problem, which is feeding into the greater and greater level of desperation you're beginning to experience. So what happens is once you reach this point, the true sense that this could be any better starts to reach a sense in your brain that that's your life. And that's where everything is now shutting down. You no longer seek care. You're not going to seek care anymore because you don't believe anything can help anymore. You may have friends or family members that are coming to you and saying, did you hear about this guy that can fix pain? He's come up with this new method, and he's telling everybody it's muscular. And you can hear all these people that have gone and experienced it and are feeling better. And the person's like, yeah. But they've shut down. They're hearing, but they're not listening.
They're beyond the horizon, basically.
And this is really a very, very sad point. I believe that a very large portion of the population who could benefit from the Yass Method are not getting a chance to experience it because they're not even willing to believe that something could be done for them because they have shut down their mindset, their approach to life. And it's not even about the pain anymore. When we talked about this idea of Masiak laying on that concrete floor.
Now, Masiak was our first guest, our first testimonial, in the very first show we did.
So I'll tell you something that happened, which is mind-boggling. 2 to 3 months into this guy's feeling incredible. He's doing great. He's out. He's interacting with friends. He's having life. He's gone back to college. And all of a sudden, he calls me and he tells me, I got to tell you something. There's something unique that's happening in my brain. I said, what is it? He says, when I was sitting and laying in that fetal position, I knew I wouldn't cause pain. And as crazy as it sounds, I was okay with that. Now that I'm active, I know that I can make the wrong move and I can cause pain. And I am so fearful, I don't think I can handle that again. So we began to have an actual psychological breakdown in the freedom he was achieving from having no pain. That's how bad this stuff gets.
And it took a while for you and him to go through that.
Couple of months.
It wasn't just the idea of the exercise, because the exercise were helping him he was pain-free. It's you spent 2-3 months with him explaining the entire process of, look, you have to have trust in what you're doing, where this is headed, and where you are headed in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the big thing, is that you have to actually take them along, not just in resolving their pain, but the emotional and spiritual connection to the pain.
All right, if you want to call Dr. Yass, set up an appointment. It's 904-906-YASS, 904-906-YASS. You can go online, Live Without Pains, livewithoutpainsplural.com. You can set up an appointment online. You can go to see Doc at his office on Phillips Highway, or you can do a Zoom session with Doc. Same thing. You're going to get the same things. Again, these are simple weight training exercises that can be done with weights or bands. It's not difficult. Anyone, any age can do these exercises and can get out of pain. It's the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Mitchell Yass on 1010XL.
Get your news and notes from the swamp.
Alligators ornery cause they got all them teeth.
I'm Taylor Dahl, and I'll bring you the Gator Report to keep you connected to Gainesville.
Wow! Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
If you're looking for exterior solutions that provide you reliability and durability, it's time to call Armor Guard Exteriors. Whether you need seamless gutters or gutter protection, hurricane products, impact windows, glass lanais, or retractable awnings and screens, we've got you covered. Call My Home Team today for your 5-star experience at 904-906-8669.
Armor Guard Exteriors, committed to quality, and that's a promise.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Expert Automotive is now open at our brand new state-of-the-art facility on St. John's Bluff Road. As always, every repair comes with a lifetime service repair warranty. Come celebrate our grand reopening by getting a free AC inspection, $50 off any repair, $199 brake specials, and free diagnostics all month long. Call 374-3373 or visit us at our new location at 2190 St. John's Bluff Road. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
I'm Dr. Mitchell Yass, the most unknown world-renowned expert on pain elimination. That's right, elimination. If you've tried medications, injections, physical therapy, chiropractic, even surgery, and still experience pain, then say yes to Yass. I have successfully used the Yass Method for over 30 years to help thousands reclaim their lives. To learn more, call me at 904-906-YASS. Let's end your pain and say yes to Yass.
He was number 55, and he's still our middle linebacker. You're gonna lose Tom McManus.
It was like he didn't know what to do.
Friday from 10 to noon, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Hurricane season is here, and if you own or run a business, you must protect your valuable property from parking lot floods. Call Duck Duck Rooter, your storm drain maintenance experts. Our VACCON team specializes in regular storm drain maintenance to keep your property safe and secure. With Duck Duck Rooter, you can trust our professionals to keep your storm drains clear, preventing floods and ensuring the well-being of your customers and employees. Call us today at 904-862-6769 to schedule your storm drain maintenance. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com for more information.
What's colder, the North or the South Pole? The answer coming up.
Filing any homeowner's claim is really easy with Southern Oak Insurance. Simply file your claim directly with us. We'll handle the vendors. It will save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The South Pole is colder than the North Pole, which is an ocean surrounded by land. The South Pole is land surrounded by ocean.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Frank here, and it's summertime, and longer days mean more time to spice up your morning. Looking for an unexpected breakfast experience? How about a Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit? It's back on the menu for good. Seasoned with a spicy blend of peppers and freshly breaded chicken paired perfectly with a lightly buttered biscuit. The Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit makes a bold start to your summer morning. Savor each delicious bite with Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit today.
Major League Baseball is always on at Perfect Rag Billiards in Murray Hill. Whether you're a Ray, Cub, or even Yankee, Perfect Rag Billiards always has all the games live. Tons of awesome beer and food specials for the weekend, from Fireball Fridays, Seltzer Saturdays, and brunch on Sundays. That along with tons of pool tables, shuffleboards, darts, and more. Get on out of the house for the action and come to Perfect Rag Billiards in Murray Hill, where you can catch all the MLB action. Perfect Rag Billiards in Murray Hill, a great place to watch sports.
Cataracts can take a toll on the quality of a loved one's life. Maybe it's even your parents or someone close to you. Hey, Hicken here. I've been talking to you about Bowden Eye. And it turns out renowned cataract care is right here at Bowden Eye & Associates. Their doctors help those with cataracts feel hopeful, sometimes for the first time in a long time. If someone you love is suffering from cataracts, schedule a visit for a personal consultation. 3 locations to serve you, including the new office on County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
We're back on the very important Sunday edition of the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Mitchell Yass. If you want to call Dr. Yass and get an appointment, it's very simple. 904-906-YASS to eliminate, not put off, not fix for a day or a week or a month. Eliminate your pain. 904-906-YASS. Go online. Live Without Pains. It's plural. livewithoutpains.com. Set up an appointment. You can go to the office. You can do it via Zoom. Same thing. Very simple weight training exercises that from 10 to 80, people from 10 to 80 can do. 90-year-olds. It's simple stretch band exercises. All right, Doc, this is a very, very important show. We're talking about the psychology of pain and how pain literally builds a prison around you.
So I think I want to just, if I can, give a little bit more history about myself to help understand why I don't think this is my occupation. It's not my job. I think it's a quest that I've been put on. And it all actually begins back as a child. So I was that 99-pound weakling guy who had sand kicked in his face, and I would have anxiety walking to high school. That's how bad it was. And sure enough, I got beaten up a few times. It was a classic situation. And it obviously created some unhappiness in myself, and I had decided that I was going to try to change my life by growing muscle. So from 19 to 26, I tried to lift weights for 6 months every year, but my metabolism was too fast, and it just didn't take. Then at 26, I remembered that I had taken a high school physics course, and I started saying weightlifting might have something to do with physics because gravity is a force vector. And maybe there's some laws of physics that can help me understand how to lift weights. So over the next 4 years, I incorporate these laws of physics, and I put 40 pounds on. I go from 160 pounds to 200 pounds. And I have subsequently put on another 20 pounds. So as a result of that, it gave me the ability to create an understanding of how to strengthen people in a way that's not part of any curriculum.
Right.
The other thing to understand about this is every single time someone comes to me in pain, and it's physical pain, it immediately harkens back to my emotional pain that I had growing up. And there is a connection to that person that says, I feel their pain. And I mean it in the deepest part of my soul. And so it drove me to, over the last 30 years, understand this way of interpreting symptoms, and when muscular, understand how to get rid of that pain in a treatment or two in a way that it's just not a job. It's not what I'm doing 9 to 5. It's a quest. It's a quest. And every person that comes in is as important as the person that came before them. And every person that comes in, just like I was able to overcome my emotional pain, I want them to overcome their physical pain, and I will not stop. And I understand the connection between the physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects, and we have to discuss those and resolve those. as well. The spiritual and emotional pain must be dealt with for that physical pain to be fully resolved, because if you don't go on back to the quality of life and achieve all the things you want, then you're never going to be doing all the things that sustain muscular strength. And so even if you're doing strengthening, if you don't use those muscles, you're going to lose them. So you got to go back and live your life to the fullest. And by the way, what is life? But a series of activities that you do that bring you joy.
Not only that, here's another thing life is. It's a one-shot deal. This is it. This is it. Why run around in pain? Not run around. Why sit there in pain? Why sit in pain and not have someone help you get out of pain? You have the answer right in front of you. All right, we got time to take a couple calls. 904-641-1010. We're going to take a call from Charles right now. Charles, good Sunday morning to you.
Hey, good morning, guys. Dr. Yass, I am one of those prisoners of pain. I have to carefully plan every time I leave the house as to, how long it's going to take, et cetera, and how much pain it's going to inflict. But my question is, once I start the exercises with you, roughly, without you giving too much away, how long roughly do you have to do the exercises every day, and for how long?
So the exercise routines that I do are done 3 times a week. There's aspects of understanding of strength training that I've developed personally that's just not part of any curriculum. So in terms of strength training, a basic component is that when you're doing the strength training, you're not in fact making muscle, you're causing micro tears in muscle. And the inflammatory response that ensues after it is the next 24 to 48 hours. That's the important part. That's where the growing develops. So you don't want to be strengthening during that healing phase. So that's why my exercise routine is never done more than 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. In terms of how quickly you will see a difference, it's day 1. Every person that comes into my office for their first treatment, and Matt's been hanging around my office enough to know I tell him the stories, and he's actually been there when somebody was coming in or out after him or before him, and he has heard these stories that these are people who have had pain for decades, years, whatever, and sure enough, if in fact it's muscular, I can begin to create that change in that muscle and experience a change in the level of pain in that first session.
By the way, real quick, Charles, and everyone else listening out there, it took me literally two times with Dr. Yass, maybe a little bit of a third time. I'm there now because I'm working out with weights. I'm not there now because I continue to go there because of my Achilles. I haven't had Achilles pain in 7 months, 8 months. So it's not It's not about like, oh, you're still seeing him. No, I just because the way you made it sound was like I was still seeing. I see you all the time.
Yeah.
And I see Mitchell all the time, 3 times a week because I go work out at his facility.
And by the way, that is ultimately the goal that I seek is once we get beyond the pain issue, I'm looking for people to do general conditioning to the point where now they're enhancing their capacity to do all their activities so that not only are you doing your activities, but you're doing them optimally to get the optimal joy from doing them.
Cool, because I'm like 5'11" and a half and only weigh 122 pounds.
Wow.
So I'm a really skinny guy,
Charles, it's very, very simple. They're weight bands, and they're very simple exercises. The key is, and you said you didn't want Mitchell to give everything away too much. He's giving it all away. The key that he has is he's able to identify the muscle in distress. That's the key to everything, and then how to use other muscles to strengthen it.
Right. And by the way, when you come to the office, you're going to use weightlifting equipment. I have a full gym. But the idea is that as you leave your first time, you're going to get a series of videos to help you make sure you understand how to do these exercises. If you have access to gym equipment, I give you videos using that. If not, we have videos that allow you to use resistance bands. So if you're going to do my method, it doesn't warrant you joining a gym. Absolutely. That's just not necessary.
All right, Charles. Thanks for your call, man.
Right,
We really appreciate
guys.
it.
I'll see you soon, Dr. Yass.
Sounds good, man. Look forward to
Good
it.
Sunday morning to you, Charles. All right, let's. I want to get into that real quick, Doc. And I know I said we could take some. We can take a couple calls actually at 904-641-1010. But I also want to talk to you about this idea of, well, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. Is it, am I too old to do it? Am I too skinny to do it? Am I too fat to do it? I don't know if I can get away for enough time to do it. How long does it take to do it? You've had people that actually do the exercises at their job while they're working.
Absolutely. So in terms of span of age, I've treated from 5 to 102. 5 to 102 years old. I've treated every level of function. A person who basically had pneumonia for 6 weeks, and after that, she had such swollen legs that she couldn't walk. It was like carrying anchors. We did the appropriate strengthening, and we got rid of that fluid. Pain isn't the only symptom that I could address. So age is not a factor in this, and functionality is not a factor in this. The whole idea of what makes Yass Method exercises so unique is that I've come to understand that in strengthening, you're trying to make a muscle contract, and that's moving one joint in one direction. So regardless of what that joint is, I believe and have shown that the best chance of getting strength in that muscle is through stabilizing the rest of the body. So the highest percentage of all exercises that are being performed in a seated position. And even if you are standing, you're standing on one leg, you're always holding on to a chair with two hands. So there are 3 points of contact, which means that's the equivalent of a stool. You're quite stable. So there should be no fear of a balance issue being an issue in doing this exercise. No fear that you're not athletic enough. It's simply not the case. Yass Method exercises incorporate moving one joint in one direction with the rest of the body fully stabilized.
I just think that's kind of because Charles made a great point. But I don't want you to give everything away. You have given everything away. You've literally explained what the process is, how it works, and how quickly it works. So I don't think we this can't be underscored more. This is a simple process. It's not something where it's this crazy, oh, wow, you got to come in and it's going to take 7 weeks, 8 weeks. No, it takes 1 visit, maybe 2 visits, tops 3 visits. That's it, and you're done. Right. You're done, and you're pain-free.
Let me get one quick point. It's a transference of knowledge. The Yass Method is not where you're going to go to a practitioner forever. The goal initially is to establish what the cause of your pain is, then show you the correct exercises to perform. Then I give you video so you learn how to do it. And within 2 to 3 sessions, I have transferred the information to you so you now have control, not only to resolve the pain, but prevent it from reoccurring. That's the magic of what makes this so special.
All right. We need to go to a break. We're going to come back on the other side, and we're going to finish up the show. This is a very, very important psychology of pain show. We might have a chance to take a call or two when we get back on the other side. It's the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Mitchell Yass on 1010XL.
Get inside intel on the PGA Tour from exclusive angles and insider access on Brunch with the Tour. Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A. Tuesday morning at 8:30.
Brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation and J&M Roofing on 1010XL.
Did you know that weight loss surgery is the most effective solution for obesity, according to the National Institutes of Health? If you've tried everything and you're still struggling with weight loss, a procedure at Baptist Health could be your solution. Our personalized program is a center of excellence with a full team to support you every step of the way. Is it time to reclaim your health? To see if you qualify, call 904-202-SLIM or visit BaptistBariatrics.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason Stanley Pools is a family tradition of fine swimming pools. It's locally owned and run by the Stanley family since 1988. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build and renovate our pool, and they do a fantastic job of maintaining it. I've recommended Stanley Pools for years for pool construction, repairs, maintenance, and renovation. Call Stanley Pools at 269-7277 today to transform your backyard. That's Stanley Pools, 269-7277.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I said yes to Yass, Dr. Mitchell Yass, and the Yass Method. Now, I know you've probably tried medications, treatments, injections, even surgery. Maybe the reason you're still in pain is because they're treating the wrong thing and not addressing the root causes. Well, I know from personal experience, this does happen. But I found the best-kept secret in pain elimination, Dr. Yass and the Yass Method. Call them today, 904-906-YASS, and say yes to Yass.
The
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Franchi Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Hey, Hicken here. I hope your summer's been as fun as mine. We had some great vacations, did some traveling. Must admit, though, I'm looking forward to everybody kind of getting back into order. My youngest going off to college. Everything got is settling down in the house. Man, the house is taking a beating. So the towel and grout, the carpets and rugs all need a good cleaning. Time to call Zero Res. Right now, Zero Res offering the hottest price of the year on towel and grout cleaning. Get your towel and grout cleaned and sealed 25% off. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it backward. Right way to clean.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We're your local family jeweler for 46 years in Jacksonville with a huge selection of diamonds, gemstones, and pre-owned Rolex watches. And Monahan Jewelers is your store for expert jewelry repair turned around in 1 or 2 days. Most jewelry stores take 2 weeks or more, and many stores send your jewelry somewhere else for repair. At Monahan Jewelers, our jewelry repair is done in-house by expert craftsmen, and Monahans can turn around most repairs in a day or two. So bring your jewelry repair to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Denny Thompson here. Are you a home builder looking for a reliable low-voltage partner? Look no further than Tyson Sound and Security. They've been working hard with large and small builders for 15 years. Here's why they are the top choice. They will enhance your home buyer's home experience by offering custom home design appointments, and your budget stays intact while they deliver top quality services. Builders, send your plans over today to bid. Tyson Sound and Security, security and home automation experts.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
All right, we're back at the Pain-Free Living Hour. Real quick, if you got a call, 904-641-1010. Let's go to Colin. Colin, good Sunday morning to you. How you doing?
Sunday morning. How's it going?
Good, doing good. What's your problem, man?
Okay, so here's the quick rundown for you. I'm about 6 foot. I'm at about 180 right now. I grew up a skinny kid, just like you. Couldn't put on size, couldn't put on weight. About 2 years ago, I injured something in my trap or my neck on the right-hand side, even to where it's like going up. It feels like into the skull almost, and I get these stingers when I'm lifting weights where I lose all my strength, everything on the right-hand side, shoulder, everything. And I've been dealing with it for 2 years, yeah, so I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on what that could be, if it's a nerve damage or what's going on.
So basically, it sounds to me like what happened was you didn't have a great lower trap, which pulls the shoulder blade down and back, and your mid-trap rhomboids aren't probably as good as they should be. You may look at yourself and see that shoulder is elevated and slightly forward. And what that will do, if in fact that's true, is it closes off what's called the anterior triangle of the neck. And there's a muscle there called the anterior scalenes. And that muscle can impinge on all the nerve roots that come out of the cervical spine, run through the triangle, under the collarbone to the arm, and serve the arm. Well, if you can impinge on that grouping of nerves, you can get what people call a stinger, which is that shock sensation. But the important thing to understand is it's a muscular cause creating a neurological symptom. So if we were able to suck that shoulder back and down by using the appropriate strength training of the appropriate muscles, we can stop the impingement from occurring, and you can stop that symptom from occurring.
Hey, man, that would be a dream come true. My ex used to work at 1010, and she was supposed to hook me up with you at one point, but never did. I won't throw under the bus. But, hey, if you guys could text me your info so I can set up an appointment, man. That'd be life changing.
All right, we'll get you Dr. Yass's info right now. Thanks, Colin. We really appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one. Happy Sunday.
All right, thank you. You too. All right. I mean, I think this has been such an important show, Mitchell, because I mean, we've talked about all the different pains that people are dealing with. We've talked about your method and how it eliminates those pains. We haven't hit the psychological barriers of pain.
And I think it's important for people to realize they may subconsciously be impeding their ability to get better because it's gone beyond the pain, and now it's more about how do I avoid ever experiencing it, and that just limits you from taking a step forward and ending that pain and having the quality of life you deserve.
All right, have a great Sunday, everyone. It's the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Mitchell Yass. We'll see you next week on 1010XL.
When it comes to commercial fence services,